What's good out there, everybody? Saturday edition of the Shake Back Sports Show OT. BGC Sports Network is who we are powered by. Check us out on Alexa, the TuneIn app, as well as the YouTube page at BGC Sports Network 1, as well as Twitter at BGC Sports 1 and Instagram, the same handle there. Facebook, BGC Sports Network. Also on Twitter, you can actually see the scroll going across the bottom of the screen for this show. And on this show, I have one of my favorite college football players out there. I had the privilege and pleasure of covering him throughout his high school career at Coppell High School. Defensive back extraordinaire, Jonathan McGill. What's up, nephew?
How y'all doing?
Oh, man, it's been a long time, man. I'm doing good. And must I say how much of a pleasure it is to have you on the show, fam. You know, you welcome anytime. And I know how busy you are, man. So we're going to get to this. So going all the way back to when you were a freshman, I remember when we had you on the End Zone Sports Show when it was myself and my brother and Dwayne Sutton. And we were talking about how you were a freshman playing on the 6A level, and I've seen your game evolve from there all the way through high school. The last year at Coppell, you were the 6A District Player of the Year, and then you went on to Stanford, and you had offers from Texas Tech, Stanford, and like a million other places. And I know through a source, it might have been you, but I know at that point, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was Texas Tech, SMU, and Stanford that were the final three on your calendar or on your wheelhouse.
Yes, sir. Those was I had 6 schools, but those was kind of the top 3 that I was kind of leaning towards out of the 6. So yes, sir.
Right. So what was it about Stanford that made them be the one that you chose?
When I was kind of just, looking at all aspects of college, I kind of broke it down to 3 things. I broke it down to football, obviously, academics second, and then the final thing was culture and kind of environment. When I went up to Stanford, I think my sophomore year, I went up there, saw this campus. And that's one thing that, a lot of people will tell you that work with Stanford. Once, they get recruits there, it's kind of hard for them not to want to go there based on how pretty the campus is. And I got a chance to hang out with some of the football players that were there. I kind of felt like, we had the same, kind of connection, same kind of goals and mentality. So that was one thing that definitely played a part for me. Academics, that's, kind of goes and said, Stanford's really an Ivy League school. They call it the Ivy of the West. And, football, playing in the Pac-12, going against quarterbacks like, Justin Herbert, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I went against him last year. Going against, receivers. We got a chance to play Chase Claypool last year at Notre Dame. So, kind of just getting the opportunity to just go against, some of the top guys, in college football, and also getting a world-class education along with playing alongside, guys that have my same mentality and mindset. I just felt like it was an opportunity I had to take.
And the pedigree that comes with being a Stanford person, I understand that your mom, and shout out to your mom and dad, man. They are 2 of my favorite people in the whole world. And I have often told them that they have made our life, my wife and I's life, Patrice, so much better with their wise counsel. And I remember, I think your mom actually met Tiger Woods. Is that right?
So they met Condoleezza Rice.
Okay.
I got the chance to meet Tiger Woods. It was a away game at UCF my freshman year. And he was in Florida at the time, came up and actually had a backpack and actually had the Masters jacket in his backpack. And, he brought it out in pregame, showed everybody. But I got the opportunity to go up to him in pregame, shake his hand. I said, I got to get a picture with you. My dad is going to flip. My dad's a huge Tiger Woods fan.
Right.
He was real cool about it. He was like, oh, yeah, let's take this picture. So got the opportunity to meet Tiger Woods. And on our visit, my mom, my dad, and Jarrell got the opportunity to meet Condoleezza Rice. And she was on our official visit and they got the opportunity to talk to her.
Man, how exciting is that? Tiger Woods in one breath and Condoleezza Rice in another breath. The only thing I can say about rice is that I had some brown rice for lunch today. But but that's awesome, man. And I can appreciate just like I said in the intro, knowing or seeing where you started from and where you are now. Whenever Stanford's on the tube, and it's not Pac-12 after dark, I'm definitely tuning in. And even when it is Pac-12 after dark, I'm tuning in. So from Coppell High School off to Stanford, your freshman year, as you just discussed, a lot of firsts for you in that first year. I remember a fumble return for a touchdown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what was that like?
Yeah. So, being a freshman, you kind of, have to work your way up the depth chart for sure. At that point, I wasn't really a guy that was in the rotation. I made a couple plays on special teams against the first two games against Northwestern. Had a forced fumble against USC that next week, and that kind of stood out a little bit to the coaching staff. So I forgot how many points we were losing by, but we were losing by 2 scores or something. It was about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And coach looked at me, gave me the nod. He was like, yeah, McGill, get ready. You're going to go in for this next series on defense. And oddly enough, a couple of my teammates say, I'm a little ball magnet. Like the ball just seems to just find me. And so oddly enough, that whole drive, legit, like those first 4 plays were legit just run plays right at me. So I got like 4 tackles. And then that next play, was the fumble return. The quarterback fumbled the exchange with the running back. Ball was bouncing a little bit. I saw a tight end in my peripheral, and I knew I had one opportunity to get this right. So I didn't even want to dive on it. I was like, there's no point in diving on it. Might as well make the play. So I batted the ball forward, scooped it up, and tried to look at the big screen and make sure nobody was coming behind me. And then that was the first touchdown. So pretty happy moment for myself.
Yeah, that is reminiscent of me of Larry Fitzgerald in the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers when they were down and they came back and he had that long bomb in the third quarter and you could see him looking up at the big screen just like you said you did.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome, man. And then look, as a freshman, as a true freshman, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Willie Epting Jr. talking to the nephew, Jonathan McGill's defensive back extraordinaire, the Cardinals, the farm, out there in Palo Alto or Stanford, California. As a true freshman, played in all 12 games. You did start 6, finished with 35 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. And there's a picture that I have of you in the introduction. I don't know if you saw it or not, but you were holding this plaque, and it looks like it was the Outstanding Freshman Award. Did you have any idea that you were up for that award at all?
I didn't. So, every year at the end of the year, we have a team award and a team banquet where we, the team obviously votes and coaches vote about, which player deserves, which award for that season. And, I remember there was, going through the award, the freshman award, there was an introduction, and I was kind of just looking around. We had a lot of, freshmen play last year. So I knew there was a lot of guys that was deserving of it. But, once my name was called, I kind of, didn't really move for a second. I was like, me? And then, everybody started clapping. I was like, oh, it's me. Yeah. And so, I got up, shook Coach Shaw's hands. But it was just a real honor, just to be, recognized by my teammates and also my coaching staff of, getting that Outstanding Freshman of the Year award, because, that's not only just football play, but it's also, how you interact with teammates. And so, kind of being considered a leader was humbling for me, something I really wanted to do when I first got there. And, just getting recognized for my talent was another thing.
Well put, as usual. And when I saw that, actually, your parents had sent me they sent me that picture that's on the introduction. And I said, hey, I know that guy. I've talked to that guy several times. But that congratulations on that, by the way, just in case I never did get a chance to tell you just that. That right there to me was just one or the first of many accolades that are definitely coming your way, and just a continuation of what you did in high school. All right, so let's fast forward, man, to the year 2020, a year that none of us have ever seen before, even us old heads, with the pandemic and all the social unrest that took place all over the country. You got your first taste of being in California with those infamous wildfires, and how that can actually shape the entire landscape of the state. And those things happen 2-3 times a year. So let's talk about that for a second, because the way that it can throw off you guys as creatures of habit, particularly when the season was canceled, and then ultimately announced that they were going to play. What was your thought about that when you got the news that you guys were actually going to play a 6-game season?
I remember my first, those first couple of weeks when our season was canceled and, we didn't hear anything else. I didn't really think that it was going to be, I guess, like attainable in order to, play like a full season with COVID and cases. But, as I watched like those first 2 weeks, I saw like high school teammates playing on ESPN. And, on one hand, you're really excited for them, real happy for them. But on the other hand, you're like, dang, man, I'm sitting in my Coppell, Texas, watching my high school play on Friday night. And I'm, sitting here. So, those first couple of weeks were a little bit rough. But once they did announce that the season was coming, I knew that I was ready. I knew our team was ready just to, have an opportunity to play. Still want to thank, the Stanford medical staff, all of our coaches, all the staff members that sacrificed a lot for us to make this season happen. I know that just the whole university and the provost had to do a lot. We were getting tested around 9 times a week. That's not easy at all. We were practicing, playing games, and we still didn't have a COVID case. So, just a huge shout out to, Stanford for that. But yeah, I was really, really happy for the season to start. Felt like, we had a lot to prove this season and going into next season as well.
All right. And, it's funny because the first game was against Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. And Oregon was, as you mentioned earlier, they had Justin Herbert last year. He put on the show this year in the NFL. A bit of a tough game there. Bit of a tough game with Colorado. They actually have a local product at quarterback. He went to Melissa. His name is Brendan Lewis. He's going to be the quarterback of the future for them. So you'll be facing off against him next year. And through family or through working together is how I actually accompanied or affiliated with him, because he and his dad and I used to work together. So I'm looking forward to that Stanford Colorado matchup next year, you versus him. And he's got a cannon too. So I'm just letting you know.
Appreciate it.
And then the Washington State game was canceled due to COVID outbreaks or whatnot. So the first game ended up being the game, the big game, with Stanford. And that game took place in the East Bay, or on the East Bay in Berkeley. And you guys came out on top 24-23. That rivalry between Stanford and California, tell the people how intense that rivalry is.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of like the people when I first got out there. Me coming from Texas, not really knowing too much about, Stanford versus Cal. I didn't know how intense it was. So my freshman year, everybody was kind of just every other week was kind of the same. But once that Cal game began, that Cal week practice, everybody kind of took it up a notch. And there was kind of like, you'll just feel it. Like, I don't know when it's going to snap for you. The players were saying, I don't know when it's going to snap for you. You just going to, feel it one day. Just really, just be, I really, don't really like these guys as much as other teams. So yeah, I want to say it was probably around pregame warmups for me when it kind of, set in, kind of just the rivalry. But, it dates back. It's a long, one of the top rivalries in all of college football. But this year, it was a crazy game, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of, momentum plays on special teams. But, we came out on top. Stanford brought the Axe back where it belongs. So, yeah, I'm real happy about that.
East Bay versus West Bay. That's what it's all about. And, I got affinity for the East Bay, having grown up the first part of my life in Oakland. So, yeah. And then Marshawn Lynch, man, one of my favorite running backs, went to Cal. He's actually from Oakland as well. All right. So, and then that was really it, man, because after that, you guys didn't even have another home game because and the restrictions in Santa Clara County. And I remember texting with your parents back and forth. I said, well, if they don't play in Santa Clara County, there's a chance they could play in San Francisco County or even over in Oakland at the stadium where the Raiders used to play. You guys end up playing where? Was it? It was in Tucson, wasn't it? Or was it in Mesa?
We actually, for us, the past 3 games, we had to all reschedule to away games. So we were originally supposed to play Oregon State. That was originally supposed to be a home game, but due to Santa Clara County and the restrictions, we had to be creative and come up with another way to where we could leave 150 miles away from the county without having to quarantine for 14 days. So with that being the case, we were playing Washington that next week after Cal. So we practiced on Monday, had to have a socially distanced practice due to Santa Clara guidelines. Then we took a plane to Seattle, Washington, stayed in Bellevue, practiced the entire week there, and then played Washington on that Saturday. That following day on Sunday, woke up, took a 4-hour bus drive straight to Oregon, stayed at Oregon State, practiced in their indoor facility that whole week, played Oregon State. Then the following week, hopped on a plane, flew to Santa Barbara, California, where we prepared for UCLA the entire week. Then we played UCLA on that Saturday, and that was kind of the end of our road trip. Flew back to San Francisco after that.
And that game against UCLA, 48-47, wrapped up the season for you guys. You guys finished on a 4-game winning streak after dropping the first 2. Definitely built up some momentum going into next year with something to build on. I said I was going to try to keep this thing at 20 minutes or less. So we're just about there. So I wanted to just ask you a little bit about, because when you mentioned about all these road trips and bus rides that you had to take, as far as because we know Stanford is a strenuous academic institution of higher learning. So how was that in terms of the schoolwork and what you had to do there?
Yeah, so I'd say Zoom was definitely a challenge at first. When they first, implemented Zoom was last year around this time in the spring, because, COVID cases and everything. Stanford was one of like the first schools to, shut down all in-person meetings. So the transition I'd say it wasn't seamless at all. Just sitting on a computer all day, taking notes, just trying to, collaborate with your classmates virtually was something that was a little bit different and challenging for me at first. But lucky for us, when we actually were on that 3-game road trip, school was already out. We got out that last week of Thanksgiving. So that Cal week was our last week of classes. So I didn't really get the opportunity to, try to fit everything in, on the road and on bus trips and stuff like that. But usually in season, it is a little bit harder for, us as athletes to, really stay on top of all of our academics and also on top of football and everything. So, kind of just finding that balance of, okay, maybe on Monday I'm gonna complete, the homework that I know is due on Wednesday. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't have to worry about it. I can just, settle in, watch film, do a little bit of extra work on the football field. I don't have to get off the field as fast. So I think it's kind of just, making those priorities and, kind of setting up your schedule in a way that you can maximize both your academics and also your football schedule.
Work-life balance. That's key. A couple more questions, man, before I let you get out of here and we wrap this thing on up. What do you feel like has been your biggest improvement from your freshman year to your sophomore year, both on the football field and in a social setting out there in California?
Okay, I'll start with social setting first. Initially, when I first came in, if you know my parents, anybody in my family knows I'm a picky eater. I will say that. And so socially and, just culturally, I kind of just been used to just, the basics, the chicken tenders, the burgers, the French fries, salads. And when I come out here, in California, it was a little bit different. They have something called poke, and I had no idea what a poke bowl was or anything like that. And so I tried hummus for the first time. I tried, a lot of different stuff that I normally wouldn't try. And, a couple guys told me that's all a part of the Stanford experience. You got to branch out. You got to, do something that you're uncomfortable doing. So that's one thing that I did. I have started doing now. I eat more foods. I'm not as picky, not chicken tenders and French fries anymore. And so that was social. And just football aspect, I think for me, my freshman year, I was kind of, trying to master my position like really, really well. And I wasn't really cognitive of what, the corner was doing or what, the boundary safety, the field safety, the outside linebackers doing. And that's something I prided myself on in the offseason to kind of figure out how the defense works as a whole and not just how the nickel position works or how the safety position works. And that's something that I feel like I really grown in. So just going into next year, I'm just continuing to learn or try to master. I know that's hard, but I'm trying to master how, the defense works as a certain whole compared to different offensive looks and, offensive tendencies and plays. So that's something that I've been priding myself on, understanding the conceptual defense and not just my specific position.
Makes for a more well-rounded player and a smarter player at that. All right, one last question. And it's give the kids or really anybody, because with what we went through in 2020, we all had to sort of shake back from something. So what I want you to tell the folks out there is something that you can give to them that will say, you know what, don't give up, keep going, do what you need to do.
Yeah. So, I was watching Devontae Smith's ceremony for his Heisman, and I'm pretty sure he said it best. Never give up. Like, even me personally, I'm not as tall as everybody else. I'm not, 6 foot. I'm not, 215. Don't run a 4.3. But, I still got to the same place that all those guys are getting to. So, for me personally, if you have, the desire and the determination and the self-discipline, to really do something, whether that's football, whether that's, being an accountant, whether that's, doing whatever you do and, in school and whatever, if you have that mindset of self-determination and you're disciplined enough in everything that you do, you're gonna get to the places you want to get to. You're gonna fulfill the dreams and the goals for yourself that you have. So no matter, what anyone else says, no matter, what, the media and reporters.
Wait a minute now. I'm the media. Just messing with you.
Yeah. So really, pretty much, man, just for me, just, really be appreciative of, everything that you can do each and every day. But most importantly, just have that self-discipline and that desire to just, fulfill your dreams, just get 1% better each day. And then, at the end of the week, that's all you can ask for. And that's all you can do. Just worry about that next day.
And Jonathan McGill, guys, how old are you? 21?
20.
This is the
turning 21, July 28th.
Okay, so we got that's one day. You know what? I remember that. That's one day after we got married. But anyway, so this look, he's 20 years old, and he just gave you the wisdom of somebody that's twice his age, and that is primarily because of the pedigree that he comes from. Senior pastor Norris Q McGill, NQ is what I call him, Pastor NQ, and then Pastor T, Pastor Tanya McGill. You can see all of the wonderful attributes, or you can hear it coming out of this man's heart. So, social media info, give it to him.
Got you. So my Twitter handle is @OriginalMcGill3. My Instagram is Jonathan McGill 32. Facebook, I don't really use that. I ain't touched that in a couple of years. So, if you do follow me on that, or if you do add me as a friend and I don't add back, that is not my fault. I have not been on that. My pictures, don't even look at the pictures either. Those are from 2013. I haven't found a way to delete them yet. So yeah.
All right, man. One other fun fact too about Jonathan and myself. Do y'all know? Look, your Stanford teammates need to know this. That I was the very first quarterback that you had when we played football in the parking lot that one.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I remember that.
You got that scar that you showed me one of the last times we actually saw each other. I thought that was pretty cool. I knew you were going to be something special then too, man. So It's all good, man. All right, man. We're gonna wrap this thing on up, man. Willie Epting Jr., Jonathan McGill, defensive back extraordinaire, man, from Stanford University. Fam, appreciate you coming on, man. You know you're welcome anytime. And you know, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all love each other, hug each other, and we'll talk to y'all again real soon. Peace.